Okay, we're going to graph the quadratic function y equals x squared minus 4x plus 2. And as this is the first time we've done this, we're going to do it very slowly, and we're going to do it without taking any shortcuts. We're going to work through it the way that I think that you should work through every type of graph when you're doing one for the first time, when you're doing a new type. So this is a quadratic equation. It's y is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 2. And we'll have seen from the last example on class that we have a equal to 1, b equal to negative 4, and c equal to 2. Okay. Now, we said step 1 in graphing a quadratic function is, I think I called them, label the functions with I, or number them with I, the steps. First of all, find the coefficient, the x coordinate, of the vertex, which is minus b over 2a. I apologize for the delay here. So that's going to be minus, and then b is negative 4, so it's going to be minus 4 all over 2 times a, which was 1. Minus 4 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So that's going to be the x coordinate of the vertex. I'll explain that a little bit later on. Okay, so that's the x coordinate of the vertex. And now what we're going to do, we're going to draw a table with 3 columns. Okay, and the first column is going to be x. Then we're going to have a new column with the expression on it, and that's going to be x squared minus 4x plus 2. And then the final column, which is y. Okay, and that's going to be our heading row. Okay. Now, one thing you can do, we mentioned this, is you can split up that middle column into 3 more columns. Okay, so I find it nice to do this. You don't have to do it, but I find it nice to do this. So that's what it's going to look like. And then we're going to have 7 rows altogether. We have the title row and then 7 more. So 1, 2, let's put an arrow there, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, this is where this x coordinate of the vertex becomes very important. It has to go into the middle row. Okay, it's going to go into the first column, but the middle row. So 1, 2, 3 down. So count 3 down, and then go to the next one and put in that number, which was 2. Okay. All right. Hopefully you're still with me. Now, on either side of it, you're going to put in the whole numbers that are immediately greater than and immediately less than 2. So if we can do it in whatever order we like, but it makes sense to go 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. Okay. So hopefully you know how to fill that in. Right, let's move to a different color pen for a moment. Okay. So now what I want us to do is we're going to fill in each of these columns. And on the first row with the negative 1, what we're saying here is that negative 1, on this row, negative 1 stands for x. So what we're going to have is we're going to have negative 1 squared. Well, negative 1 squared is plus 1. Then we're going to have negative 4 times minus 1, which is plus 4. And then plus 2. There's no x here, so it's just going to be plus 2. Okay, so let's do that the whole way down. Now, we're not going to write in what the x is all the time. We'll just do that bit in our head. So 0, x is 0, so 0 squared is going to be 0. Minus 4 times 0 is going to be 0, and plus 2. Okay, there's no x here, so that's always going to be plus 2. And in fact, if it's just a constant number, we can put it in right now the whole way down. Okay. All right. So move on to the next row. So here we're going to have x squared. X is 1, so 1 squared is 1. And negative 4 times x. Negative 4 times 1. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Let's repeat that for the next couple of rows. So 2 is going to be x squared. 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 by x. Negative 4 by 2 is negative 8. And 3. So x squared. X is 3. So 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 by 3 is negative 12. 4 squared is 16. Minus 4. Negative 4 times x. Negative 4 by 4 is negative 16. X squared. X is 5. So 5 squared is 25. Negative 4 by 5 is negative 20. Okay, now we're nearly finished, okay, for the table. What we do now is we add up the numbers in these three middle columns. Okay, so don't worry about the x, but add up the numbers in the 3 middle columns. So 1 plus 4 plus 2. 1 and 4 is 5, and 2 is 7. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3, and then take away the 4 is negative 1. 4 and 2 is 6. 6 take away 8 is negative 2. 9 and 2 is 11. 11 take away 12 is negative 1. 16 minus 16 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 25 plus 2 is 27. 27 take away 20 is 7. Okay, so we're going to have a set of points now. Okay, we're going to have a set of points. And the points come from the x and the y, pairing an x and a y. So we're going to have negative 1, 7. We're going to have 0, 2. We're going to have 1, negative 1. We're going to have 2, negative 2. 3, negative 1. 4, 2. And 5, 7. So those are our points. Now there's other things that we could talk about here. We're not going to do it right now because this video will get too long. But just to keep your eyes open, look at how these numbers go out from the center in both directions. So if you start in the middle with negative 2, as you go out you get negative 1 and negative 1, 2 and 2, 7 and 7. And that's going to create something called symmetry in the graph when we look at the graph. Okay, so those are our points, and I'll scroll back up to them in a second, but I'm first of all going to pull in this graph. Okay, and let's start putting on these points. So the first point was negative 1, 7. So go over to negative 1 and up to 7. The second point was 0, 2. Over to 0 and up to 2. 1, negative 1. Go over to 1 and down to negative 1. 2, negative 2. Over to 2 and down to negative 2. 3, negative 1. Over to 3, down to negative 1. And 4, 2. Over to 4, up to 2. And then 5, 7. Over to 5 and up to 7. And there we have our points. And now what you do, as best you can, this isn't easy, especially when you're doing it for the first time, but now what you'll do is you'll try and draw a smooth graph through all of those points. Okay? So, wish me luck, because this isn't easy. So, it needs to be flat momentarily at the bottom, just for a moment. So, flat through that point on the bottom, and then curve it as smoothly as you can, going up through these points here, and continue it up. Same thing on the other side. Hopefully I don't ruin this, because it's looking okay so far. Draw slowly as you like, and here you get the U-shaped. So that shape is called a U-shaped parabola. Don't need that little bit on the end. It's a U-shaped parabola. Okay. The point down at the bottom, let's highlight it blushing pink. Okay, that point there, the lowest point on the curve, is called the vertex. I'm not sure why that's happening, but there you go. That's called the vertex. Okay, if you remember, the way we started off was we got the x-coordinate of that point, and that's why it's so important. Then, if you look at it, it's got symmetry. Okay, this graph is symmetry. If we were to draw a vertical line up through the vertex, okay, a vertical line up through the vertex, that graph folds over, and that line splits the graph in two, and it would fold over on itself. If you made a crease on that line, it would fold over on itself. So therefore that line, it's an imaginary line, I guess, but it's called the axis of symmetry. Okay? Because you can fold the graph on itself in that line. And all these parabolas display that. Okay? All these parabolas of quadratic graphs display that. Now the equation of the axis of symmetry is the equation, and it's an easy equation. It's just going to be x equals something, because it's a vertical line, so all vertical lines are x equals. And you just look to see where is it cutting the x-axis. It's cutting it at x equals 2. So if it's cutting it at x equals 2, then the equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. Okay, this is a longer graph than usual, or a longer video than usual, and I appreciate your patience sticking it out. I hope you got something from it, and please feel free to watch it as often as possible, as often as you feel you need to. Okay, thanks for watching.